Hey everybody, I'm Johnny Rabb, and I am sitting behind an amazing instrument. This is the new Roland TD1K drum set. It's compact, and it has all the amazing playability and sounds that you'd come to find from Roland V drums. And it's also extremely affordable. So let me go ahead and take you through some of the features. All right, so let me show you some of the awesome features it has. We have dual zone cymbals both on the crash and the ride. So you can choke that, right? And on the ride, check it out, I will play, you can hear the different sounds, and you even get a bell when you hit it harder velocity. And edge. Also chokeable. Moving to the hi-hat, you have a control knob here that allows the tension of the hi-hat pad. The hi-hat control pedal is now separate from the unit, so it can be placed wherever you wish the player, whether it's a small child, full-grown adult, you've got the control to move that. The neat thing to me about this is that you have the realistic of an acoustic hi-hat. If I splash it like that, you can hear it open and close. So let's just give a demo of that. And completely precise. Killer. And now the 4 gum rubber pads in a configuration of a 5-piece drum set. We have the snare, rack 1, 2, and floor tom. Just going to play a little bit. It has great dynamic range. Okay. Finally, the bass drum pedal. It's also free-floating, if you will. I can move it anywhere. So you can see that here it is. And it has got a nice trigger there. So it acts very responsive to however you play. And I think that from beginner to professional, this is a great feeling pedal. Also, different velocity levels if you listen. Right? So if I'm playing a much more forte level of a sound, I'm going to get that bass drum punch. All right, so let's take a look at the sound module itself of the TD1K. It's very simple to navigate. You can see there's not that many buttons on it. It's got a nice LED screen here in red, and your 4 functions to go through using the select button. So for example, if I want to choose a kit, it's already on drums, it's lit up, and I can use the plus or minus to go up through the 15 kits. You can see that, okay? Very quick there. Select next to tempo. I can also raise the tempo using the plus or minus, or slow down using that. And always with this, a little trick, you can hold the plus and then hit minus, and you'll make it go quicker, or vice versa. So that's that. And to make the metronome actually sound, also navigate to the coach feature using the plus and minus again to change the function, and to song mode. You can see it's on song 3 there, and then that's easy enough. There's 15 songs as well, and we will get to those in a minute. And also the volume up and down to value of 20, so you can control your volume of your drum set. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out some of the kits. This is kit number 1, more of an acoustic rock style kit. Pretty cool. Let's check out another one. Let's say kit 6. Kit 11 is more of an electronic kit. You can do drum and bass or house, and this I'll do a little bit of a drum and bass example. All right. We also have percussion on kit 15. Velocity sensitive, again, you hear that little bongo open. The harder I hit, it slaps. Conga, the same thing. Cool, so those are just a few of the 15 drum kits that are in the TD1K. All right, so now let's go ahead and take one step over to tempo by pressing the select button. There you go. And just hit the metronome button and start playing it. So you press the button to start it, press the button to stop it. I can also change the tempo by using the plus or minus buttons. Make it faster with plus, slower with minus. There are a few other things you can do with the tempo function that are very cool. You can assign the time signature, for example, 3/4, 2/4, 4/4, 5/4, etc. You can also change from quarter note, eighth note triplets, 16th note permutations for great practicing effect there. And you can change the volume of the click and also the sound, like a cowbell, claves, etc. Very cool. So let's go ahead and hit the select button and go over to coach mode. You see it lit up there. Now what coach mode is a series of exercises that helps you get better faster. Let's go over a few of them now. So one of my favorite functions in coach mode is time check. What time check does is it counts down and you play along with the metronome, and it has an icon on the screen that tells me whether I'm ahead, right on the beat, or behind the beat. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. Here we go. So you can see where I was slowing down on purpose, it was showing the line go way behind. And when I was on the beat, it had kind of an O shape or a square shape. And then when I was ahead, it pushed the line to the right. Very, very valuable tool for helping me get my timing dead on to the metronome. Okay, so in this coach mode, what we're going to do is something called change up, which is basically rhythmic notes going from half notes to eighth notes, eighth note triplets, and then the 16th notes, and then back down. So this is the simple mode. So let's check this out. So that gives you an example of just how to go up and down the ladder of rhythms using the change-up feature. So to start recording in Coach Mode 10, you just press the metronome button. And then when you're done, press it to stop, same button. Here we go. All right. And to play it back, press the plus button. And the minus button to stop it. Very cool feature if you want to check out what you are capable of doing. The module also has USB connection capabilities for your home computer to be able to utilize software such as the Roland V Drum Tutor. It's a very, very cool educational tool. The TD1K module also has 15 songs of different styles for you to play along with. Killer for getting all your different grooves together. So I've chosen kind of a pop one, so let's check that out. Simply press the metronome to start off the count off, and then I've made it to where the metronome turns off during the playback.
In this video lesson, we're going to talk about the heel-toe technique. So before we get into the actual technique as it's played on the pedal, I first wanted to break it down for you on the carpet. And I even want to go one step further, and I want to take off our shoes. All right? Okay, so you can do this with me. This might be good to do it with me right now. Take off your right shoe or whatever your dominant foot shoe is. Okay, so now we got our foot on the ground, just set like that. Now I want to show you the motion that the heel-toe technique is. And this is it. Okay, so let's just break down exactly what is happening here. Like I'm always going to say, and I'm going to continue to always reiterate over and over again, is with the heel-toe technique, there's a starting position. And this is so important when you first learn it. I'll critique so many people. People send me their videos or they'll come for a lesson and they're like, what am I doing wrong? And I'll look at what they're doing like, yeah, you're not starting right. You're starting the technique from here. And if you try and start the technique from here without actually knowing the feeling and what actually has to happen to perform the double stroke, you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to learn it. So it's really going to hinder your learning. So what I always say is start the technique in the toe position. So we'll call it the toe position. And this is with the heel in the air. Okay? And then what happens is you basically come up, you drop down, and then come back up. So that's the motion. Rocking motion. It's not this. Okay, so many people will try and do this, and they're like, why is it not working? Why is it not working? Well, you have to do the rocking motion. Now, another thing I want to talk about is what you're hearing. You're hearing two strokes. You're hearing one when my heel hits, and you're hearing another when my toe goes back to the starting position. Now, when we get to the pedal later, you're going to see that it's actually more of a toe-toe stroke when you slow down and look at the motion. When I hit my heel, I actually will hit the heel on the footboard and not actually on the pedal. The first heel hit won't actually create any stroke, but it is the start of the motion and it is necessary to perform the heel-toe technique, double stroke. And then when I come up, there's my first double, and when I finish, there's my second double. And it works like that. Like, I know it's hard to see now, but I really wanted to break it down without the pedal. So if you didn't necessarily have a pedal right now, or if you're sitting on the bus later, if you're watching a movie or whatever, you could literally just sit there and practice this technique. Because it's all about your muscles memorizing this motion. All right, now let's bring the bass drum pedal back in, and I'm going to show you how it looks on the pedal. All right, so now we're back here with the pedal, and I want to show you how the heel-toe technique looks when played on the pedal. So here we go. Okay, so you're going to notice some differences, and differences in the feeling, obviously, because we're not on a completely flat carpet. Now the pedal is slightly angled, so you can see here. So now when your foot sits up, it's just different. That's why when first starting, because we're going from the carpet, let's flatten that out. And let's just leave the beater on the drum head. So the beater's on the drum head, my foot is in the starting position. Here I do it slowly. I come down, my heel hits, I start coming back up. There's the first stroke. My heel is still coming up. There's the second stroke, back in the starting position. I'm doing it as slow as I possibly can. You'll never, ever actually play it that slow. That's actually ridiculous. But that's how it actually looks. Let me do it again for you guys. All right, now I'm going to play it at normal speed for you, and then we can slow it down for you in video and show you exactly how it sounds and looks, super slow motion. Okay, now that you've learned the heel-toe technique and you can play a quick double, what I want you to work on is playing it continuously. So just doing like kind of a gallop. Pick a tempo you're comfortable with. No need to use a metronome right now. If just go really slow if that's the way it's working for you. Or with some people, I know it's easier for them to learn this technique at a little bit faster speed just because of the motion with the foot, and then they actually will learn how to control it and bring the tempo down later, which is, there's nothing wrong with that when we're first learning this. As long as you learn it at a variety of tempos, I think that's what's most important. So let's just work on it and let's try and get that gallop going. Okay, so you'll notice when I'm doing that gallop, I don't actually come up and sit there in the starting position every time. But when it's slowed down, you'll see that every time I do the double, I end up back here. And it's just for a split second when you have to do it over and over again. So now I want to talk about a couple of misconceptions about the heel-toe technique. The first one is foot size and footwear. So let me put my shoe back on and I'll be back with you in a second. I am a size 11.5 foot. So if you can see here on the pedal, when my foot is right at the top, okay, here's the pedal stop. My foot is right at the top, a little bit is hanging off the back. And so a lot of people think that in order to do the heel-toe technique, you need to hit the heel and do this. So you have to have longboard pedals. I purposely didn't use longboard pedals for this demonstration because I wanted you guys to see that that's not the case. You don't need longboard pedals, and I have a size 11.5 foot, which is probably pretty average for guys, or maybe above average, but it doesn't matter. I can still perform the heel-toe technique. Here we go. Now even if I move my foot down, now watch this, I'm only using this much of the pedal, okay? My foot. Now I'm going to still play the technique. Okay, so foot size doesn't matter. Even if you had size 15 feet there and your foot was hanging way off the back of the footboard, it wouldn't really matter. The next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to do a little bit of a unique demonstration here, is I want to talk about footwear. And kind of, we're going to meld in some of the foot size stuff in here. Basically, I'm going to rotate between a bunch of different types of footwear. I'm going to rotate between snowboard boots, work boots, like big cat heavy work boots, a pair of size 13, these 13 Velcro shoes, they're huge, and golf shoes, and then these shoes as well. Just to kind of give you guys a demo, have a little fun, and show you that it doesn't really matter what type of footwear you have. You guys can play this technique. So here we go. We're going to start off with just regular shoes. Next, we have golf shoes. Now we're going to jump to a real ugly pair of shoes that I had to buy. Next, we have a pair of cat work boots. And finally, we're going to jump to a pair of snowboard boots. All right, so I hope I proved my point there. Footwear doesn't really make a big difference. You can play in gum boots if you want.
Play some drum beats.